Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is another Scraptacular Cropping Club challenge to do this really cool diamond border design that was inspired by a layout from Scrapbook Adhesives. So they did a really cool thing where at the corner of all of these diamonds they would use photo corners. So if you have photo corners in your stash, that's a really cool accent you can add to this page, but I didn't end up doing that. But I loved the design with the diamonds. I thought it was a great way to use up scraps that we might have if you have 6x6 paper pads that have been neglected. I'm making all of mine 4x4 squares, but you can change the size if you want. A lot of people did like 3x3, and that looked really cute too. But with the amount of paper and the numbers of papers that I had to work with, it worked out better to do 4x4. So I'm just taking a bunch of scraps from this Autumn Chill collection, and I trimmed all of them into 4x4s, and now I'm just staggering all of these patterns in a way that I like. I ended up having one square extra, so I just took away that top one because I felt like that pattern was the most distracting. But this is a companion page to a page you guys saw probably a couple months ago when I was using my Felicity Jane Aspen collection, and I documented the Horsemen's Association at UGA. We went to a cross-country class with Lucinda Green and got to observe. So this is kind of part two. I forgot I had more photos for that, so I thought that was the only page, and then I found these and realized I really wanted to document these as well. So this is a companion page. I really don't feel the need to do a title or journaling because I had all of that on the first page and they're going to be right next to each other. So it's really just making a fun page with the photos and getting the photos documented. So the first thing I'm doing is getting the whole diamond thing figured out. I'm just using my grid mat as the background to make sure all of these are lined up, and I'm just making sure from corner to corner I did an 1.5 inch gap. So this is really great having a grid mat in these situations because you can make sure all of the top and bottom corners stay on the same line, and then that you're using the horizontal lines to get your spacing correctly. So that actually came in handy. I don't always use my grid mat like that, but that's what I did to get the diamond design. I'm thinking it'll be over here to the left-hand side. I really wish I only had one photo to do with this design so I could really showcase that element. I think it's really cool, but I really want to document both of these photos. So what I decided to do was separate them again and have one in the lower left, one in the upper right. I've really enjoyed like at least once a month doing this. It's such a habit for me to map my photos together and have them always together and then design around my photos as a block. So once I started doing a couple layouts where I changed gears and separated the photos and I put the photos on opposite side of the pages, it really opened up a lot of different ways to design, which was a lot of fun, kind of a fresh twist for me. To work that way. So I'm really trying every once in a while to do a layout like this where I separate the photos completely. And that has turned out really cool in the past couple pages I've done. So I'm going to try to do that again. You can see I'm trying to find different ways for me to mat these photos together. And it either covers up too much of this diamond design or it just looks awkward. So I'm going through scraps and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of this page. A couple of the other ladies who did this design had a lot of like horizontal strips running at the top and bottom of the page, so I thought about maybe following suit. But it was just looking too busy with the types of patterns I was using, so I decided to kind of do my bands on the opposite side of the page instead, which some of them also did. So I'm thinking that's nice. It kind of pulls a lot of the colors from this diamond border to the right side of the page, and it gives me like an anchor point for one photo. So now that I've separated the photo, you can kind of see where I'm going with the design. So the smaller one's going to be in the upper right hand corner coming off of these bands I just laid down, and then the 4x6 of our little group sitting on one of the jumps is going to be a separate area at the bottom left hand corner. So now that I've figured that out, I'm going to map both of the photos in some white. I'm going to trim down the 4x6 a little bit just because it's taking up so much space and some of that photo is dead space anyways, so I'm just going to trim them down and map them both on white. And then I'll just start layering with some scraps that I have. I really love designs like this because I can really dig into a lot of the scraps I've accumulated in my different paper pads, because this one I really just pulled out the green 12 by 12 as the background, and everything else I've used has been scraps, so that's always really satisfying for me. But I know these are where these are going to lay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down everything so I don't have all of these shifting areas. Same with the cluster on the right. You can see the polka dot scrap to the right isn't a 12-inch strip, but since I have this photo that's going to overlap it, I'll just tear a section of the polka dot and have a gap behind where the photo will be, so it will also run 12 inches. So I'm just going to get that situated really quick. Sorry if you hear a lot of rustling in the background. I've adopted a bearded dragon. So if you hear rustling, he sees me and he wants to get out and cuddle. So if you aren't friends with me on like Instagram or something, you may not know, but he has his own Instagram now. And he's been a lot of fun. But yeah, if you hear rustling in the background, that's what it is. So now I'm trying to figure out spacing wise. I just want to make sure I'm tearing this polka dot scrap in the right area so that the gap will be covered. And now that piece will appear like it goes edge to edge, but you see there's a little gap there that nobody will know about once we're done. And now that everything's glued down, I'm going to trim off the overhang so I can see exactly what the 12 by 12 now looks like, and I'm really liking this. So my photos are going back where I had them, and now I'm just going through scraps to figure out how I want to layer. So there's a couple cut aparts that are really nice, like neutral minty colors. So I'm just going to do a couple layers in each photo section with that. You'll kind of notice when I do this and I have these two photos on opposite ends, I still like to treat them the same way and kind of layer the same way with the same products, because that automatically creates some balance. So you'll see whatever I do to one photo, I'll try to incorporate somehow in the other photo. So use that minty polka dot scrap to mat the larger photo, and now there's this separate minty layer. I'm going to do the same to the smaller photo, and then I'll incorporate scraps from both of those in the opposite photo, if that makes sense. So I'm just getting some layers down. I've really been enjoying doing the torn edges a lot recently, so you'll see a lot of these layers I've torn just the bottom edge, and I think that creates a lot of interest, especially when you have a lot of straight edges on the page. I have all of these diamonds with straight edges. I have the polka dot layer with a straight edge, and you saw I already tore the floral to the right running up the side of the page, so I'm just trying to pull in some extra texture by doing that. I think it creates a lot of interest, so that's kind of the plan. And then I'm just trying to see if there's any of the colors that are on the page that kind of seem like they need to be balanced a little better, and this brownish maroon pattern kind of was seeming I don't know, it was only that one square and then a couple of the polka dots, so I felt like I needed to have a little bit more of that represented so it looked like it wasn't an accident. So I have a little scrap of that I'm going to add to each corner just so there's a little bit more of that in each area. And I think I'll go in with the other minty scraps here in a second to add a little bit more. But I'm trying to think embellishment wise what I'm going to do. I don't have any embellishment for this collection, but there are a lot of cut aparts. So you'll see I pull in this one cut apart that says, "I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers," because this actually was October when we did this. I kept thinking this was like summer, and I felt weird like pulling in the autumn chill collection when it's not an autumn layout. Honestly, that paper pad though you could use for any time of the year, but then I checked the dates and it actually was October, so it worked out really well. But I love that little piece, and there's also a scrap of this peachy floral that complements that cut apart really nicely, so I just trimmed that into a banner to kind of start my cluster in that upper area. So you can see I pulled in one thing into each area that is similar but not the same, and that's really how I like to work to keep my page balanced. And then I had this one little die cut heart that I had already cut and not used from a previous page, so I'm just going to add that to my cluster in the upper right hand corner. And then we're doing a horse layout. I don't think we've done a horse layout in a minute, so I'm pulling in Chadney's little horse wood veneer that she had sent me. she sent me 2 little different baggies of this stuff, and I've already gone through one of them. So this is my second baggie of horsey stuff from her, but they're just like the perfect little accent to my horse pages, so I was really excited to pull those out. So the one where the girl is jumping over one of the jumps, I'm going to have the little rearing horse because it looks like he's kind of jumping a little bit. And then the cut apart wreath, I'm going to add a horse with a rider on top. So I thought those both look really cute. And then I pulled in my little mini wood veneer hearts as a little accent. Since I'm pulling in some wood veneer, I always like to accent with some extra smaller wood veneer pieces. So those little hearts will be perfect for that. But I like where both the photos are going. So before I start gluing all of that stuff down, I'm going to go ahead and stick down these layers. And then I can start gluing wood veneer and stuff. I kind of don't have a plan about finishing this page. I'm just trying to look around my desk and kind of see what will work. So the wood veneer was one thing I definitely wanted to pull in, and then that helped me pull in the little hearts. But even after this, I know I still want to add more, and I really don't know what. So what I end up doing is I still have my One Canoe 2 hashtag sticker books, and I have a Heidi swap. I think it's her Carefree collection that I got in a Secret Not Secret Kit Club collection kit. There's a whole giant sticker book, so I had some left over, and all 3 of those sticker books have colors that coordinate with this collection, so I end up pulling in those sticker books to kind of finish out finishing touches. But I'm still working on layering. I still think I want like at least one more layer in each area, and I had this scrap of teal I thought was really nice, so I just trimmed it into 2 little like tag tops and I'm gonna have both of those tucking in the tops of both of the photos, and I think that's a really cute detail too. So I am just trimming the corners on those, punching the hole, and gluing the hole reinforcers down, and I think those are nice little extra layery bits. So I'm gonna do that really quick. And I have some twine that I got off of a tag from some clothing, so I'm going to add that into those tags when we get closer to the end. So one little banner was popping up a little bit, so I just added an extra piece of glue so it'll lay flatter. But here are all those sticker books, and you can see there's a lot of colors that coordinate, so I'm just trying to figure out extra things I could add. I don't think I do. I pulled 2 stickers in from the Heidi Swap book that are kind of the rainbow letters. One of them is a banner that says remember, and another one says love. So I popped both of those up on some foam, and I had one in each area by a photo. And I think that was a really cute sentiment. I think it brings in kind of the multicolored pattern that's that top diamond square up there. So I think that was a fun way to pull some color down into that cluster. And then here's this other one. It's just a little square one that says love. So I think that's nice too. I think that's all I pull in from the Heidi Swap sticker book, but I go through this One Canoe 2 sticker book and I pull in some word stickers because they have some really nice aqua and mint stickers that I think will go really good with this collection. So below the bottom photo, I think I do like hooray and friends, and the top photo is blessed and stay positive. So I think those are cute. I think you just need a little extra, so I think those are the perfect kind of touch to finish out those areas. And then I still wanted one more thing, so I went through the other hashtag sticker book, the original one, and there's a couple little yellow heart stickers I decided to add. You really don't notice them, they always blend into the background, but I think it's a sweet touch when you do notice them that they're there. That was kind of one of those moments I'm like, why not? So I did add those 2, but I think that's it. I do add the twine through the tags. But other than that, I think that's it. So make sure you guys, if you like I feel like I don't play along with the Scraptacular Cropping Club as much as I used to, which is sad because I love their group and their challenges. But if you like these kind of not new, but like different fun ideas for pages, their Facebook group is free to join. They're really supportive. They have weekly challenges with a lot of these types of ideas. So I would check them out if this is something you kind of like. But here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.